I hope you have learned the basic concepts about absolute function. You have also seen how to solve inequalities using absolute functions and also double inequalities. Here is a test question. Normally, you don't find these questions in the books. The question here is, solve double inequality where 2 plus 3x is greater than equal to minus 4 and less than equal to 11. You need to represent solution on a number line and write solution as an absolute function inequality. So there are basically three parts. First, solve the double inequality. Then show the solution on a number line and then find the absolute function inequality to represent the same. So let's begin with the very first part, which is solving inequality minus 4, and then we have the function here 2 plus 3x, which is less than equal to 11. So the operations are, first we'll take away 2, then divide by 3. So when you take away 2, you get minus 4 minus 2 less than equal to 2 minus 2 plus 3x. So take away 2 from all the three terms, right? So you get minus 6 is less than equal to 3x, which is less than equal to 9. Now you divide by 3. So you get minus 6 divided by 3 is less than equal to 3x divided by 3, which is less than equal to 9 divided by 3. So that gives you the x value. It has to be greater than equal to minus 2 and less than 3. So that actually is your solution. So we have done the first part of finding the solution. X is within minus 2 and 3, both included. Perfect. Now let us do the second part, which is number line. So let's make a number line here. That is the solution. To represent the solution on a number line, I will mark the left extreme, which is minus 2, the right extreme, which is 3. So somewhere closer to minus 2 is going to be minus 0. Since both are included, we'll fill these holes, right? And everything within. So less than equal to means everything within. So that becomes part B, right? So this is part B. Now, let us do part C, which is to write solution as an absolute function. How do we do that? Now go back and think about absolute function. So part C is absolute function. We have to get the center somehow. So the first step is to get the midpoint, right? Now in this case, midpoint will be minus 2 plus 3 divided by 2, which is half, or you can write 0.5. Once you get the midpoint, then the next step for you is to figure out how far is end from the midpoint. So distance, that is, right? Distance of ends from midpoint. Perfect. So take the positive value 3. Both are same distances, right? So we have 0.5 somewhere here. We are looking for these two distances, right? Both are equal, from minus 2 and from minus 3, and both these distances are equal. So let's calculate. So you can calculate this as difference of 3 with the midpoint. So it is 3 minus 0.5. That gives you a difference of 2.5. That really means that the absolute function is moved to 0.5. So we have x minus 0.5. It has moved right to this point, right? It's kind of like this now. Is it okay? And we are looking for within 2.5. Does it make sense to you? Within 2.5. So that is how you get your solution. So I hope it is absolutely clear. Now let's move on and take the next test question. Now these are set of 6 questions for you. Good practice test questions We'll start with 3 simple ones and then add complication. You can actually pause the video, answer these questions. First one, straightforward. We want x to be within plus minus 3. Second one, equally easy, beyond. So this is within, right? And this is beyond, right? So when it is within, we say absolute function is less than. And here the value is 3. When the same ends, right? Both ends have same value. You don't have to think much. The values are given. You are at center 0, right? So you are like x minus 0. Do you understand? That is the midpoint between minus and plus 4. So we can write absolute x here, and you are going away, further away, right? So plus. Now that's a tricky question. X not equal to 5. And here x belongs to real numbers. What should we do about these? X not equal to 5 means we are using greater than 0. Only when you do greater than 0, then you can get one solution. Remember that. A value could be written plus minus. Plus minus of 0 is 0. So that is the key. You have to move to 5, so it becomes absolute x minus 5. At 5, it is 0. Right? Any other value, it is not 0, so it has to be positive greater than 0. So that is the solution. I hope that makes sense, right? X belongs to real numbers is kind of simple. You say greater than what? Let's say a negative value. Absolute values are always positive. So if I write greater than negative value, then the solution is all real numbers. Perfect. Now these are two difficult questions, where the boundaries on the ends are not same. So what do you have to find? Midpoint, correct? And then distance. So these are the two things to be calculated to get your absolute function. So let's do it. You can also pause the video and do it now. So midpoint here is minus 6 plus 0 divided by 2, which is minus 3. And the distance is, check always from the bigger point, right? So 0 minus 3, right? So minus of minus 3 becomes positive. So the distance is 3. Therefore, since the midpoint is minus 3, that means you're moving to left. Absolute functions become absolute value of x plus 3, and you have to be within 3 units. So within 3 units. Does it make sense? Easy, right? Next one, minus 6 plus 8 divided by 2 gives you the midpoint, which is 2 divided by 2 or 1. And how far are you from 1? 8 minus 1 is 7. So you move to 1, which is x minus 1, and then you are greater than. Do you see that greater than? So greater than equal to 7. Perfect. That is how you get your answer. And then you have actually solved all of them. Does it make sense to you? Now let's move on to the last question. This is extremely important test question. You need to complete this table. So what we have here is 3 parts. Well, we made a table here. You need to complete this table. For a given double inequality, write the solution on a number line, right? So on a number line. And also write it as an absolute inequality. For the last case, I have given you the absolute inequality. You have to give number line and double inequality. Second case. And for the last case, I'll give you a number line, let's say. And on a number line, let me give you a solution. The solution is kind of like this, where these values are minus 3 and let's say 5. So you have to provide an absolute inequality and a double inequality to represent this solution. Does it make sense to you? I'm Anil Kumar. Feel free to write comments and share your views. I hope you like the approach which we adopted here. If you really like and subscribe to my videos, that'll be great. Thanks for watching and all the best.